Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Way That I See It. My name is Lucy Superfox, and this is my podcast. Oh, just quickly close that. And this is my podcast. So, what I wanted to jump on and talk about today, and this is something I have talked a little bit about before, but I think it's one of those topics that actually keeps coming up, and it's a conversation that keeps coming up with people in my team, people I coach, and my friends. And that is all about getting what you are available for. Now, I know how easy it is to blatantly say, "Oh, you get what you're available for, babes," and drop it in, and people go, "Yeah," but not really fully understand what I mean when I say that. So I've talked a little bit about manifestation. Obviously, I had a recent launch of the new mini manifestation course, which went amazing, and I've absolutely loved teaching that so far. We've got 2 more live modules to record, and then we are rocking and rolling. So that's amazing. But what I wanted to share with you guys is those 5 steps again, really clarifying the piece around what you're available for. So let me talk through the 5 steps. So the first one is getting really, really clear on what you want. So that's the first part of being what you're available for, is getting really clear on what you want, okay? So most people can do that bit. They know what they don't want, so they can get really, really clear on what they do want. The second bit, right, and this is the bit where I think that most people fall down, is they don't believe they can have it. So they might know what they want. I want to be a millionaire, but they don't necessarily believe that they can, right? So what we've then got to work out is, what are the beliefs that you're telling? What are the stories that you're telling about why that thing can't be yours? And when you know that, you're then able to ask yourself the question, are they true? Are they not true? Are they true for every single person that's ever walked this earth? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, then it doesn't have to be your truth, right? So we then get to choose the beliefs. Beliefs are just thoughts you keep thinking. Beliefs are just stories that you keep repeating. So when you want to ultimately change something in your life, you've got to change the beliefs and the stories. So let's say we've done step 1. Let's say we've done step 2. That's the next part in what you're available for, is the belief system that you have. Because even if you say, I want this kind of relationship, but you actually believe that all men are dickheads, like, you're available for the next man to be a dickhead, right? Because even if that's not what you want, it's what you're available for, because it's what you believe. So this is why we have to not just know what we want, we also have to change what we believe. Step 3 then really is about making space. So making space for that new manifestation to come. And that's another thing, what are you available for? So let's say you want a new man, right? That's what you want, a new relationship with a man, and you've worked on the belief, so you believe there are really good men out there, and then it can be possible for you. But then your life is, 3,000 miles an hour. There's absolutely no time to go on dates. You've filled your agenda so full. You possibly wouldn't even see a man even if he lived in your house, because you've created such a full life. There's no space, right? There's no space emotionally. There's no space mentally. There's no space in terms of time. What if you want a serious committed relationship with someone who lives with you, but there's no space in your wardrobe, right? Making space is about taking actions that clear room for someone to come in. And the same thing applies to money. So if, for example, you want to earn more money, but you are literally rammed to the rafters with work, the amount of things you've got going on, and you're really fixed about your budget, and there's no, this is how much I earn, and this is where I put that money, this is what, like, that's not making space for more money to come. So that's also what you're available for. If you're not making space, you're actually not available for those things to come. So when I talk about being available, I mean it about knowing what you want available, knowing what you believe, that's about availability, making space, that's about availability. Some people do all 3 of those things, but then what happens is they don't take action. Now, inspired action is basically, for me, it's when you get the nudge, the thought, it's curious. You're like, what if I did that? That's what inspired action is, because I've done step 1 to 3, right? Step 4 can come. So if I do step 1 to 3, I have availability for my manifestations. But what I am available for is what I tell the universe and tell myself and tell my brain to filter for, right? What we tell our brain to filter for is what we manifest, create, whichever way you want to see it. So if actually I'm not available to take action, if I'm not actually putting in any effort to the things, I'm not saying I'm available for it, because I'm not actually showing myself, my mind, or the universe that that's important to me. So I'm still not available for it. And then step 5 is trusting the process. And actually, when we don't trust the process, what's happening in that time is we're still saying we're not available. We're still saying, I'm not available for this, because in this not trusting of the process, I'm not available to have help. I'm not available to be supported. I'm not available for surprises. And when we're not available for those things, we try to control the outcome. And when we control the outcome, or try to control the outcome, we're not actually available for the thing that we set out in the first place. We're available for things to go exactly on our terms, right? And absolutely, this is how people create what I call stepped goals. So they go, they lose weight in a stepped fashion, they earn more money in a stepped fashion. But if you actually want to attract the massive leaps, the massive jumps, yes, you've got to do more work in step 1 to 4. But actually, what you've also got to be able to do is really release and surrender. And surrender does not mean giving up, right? Surrender means being open to how it happens. So if you are still not trusting the process, what's happening there in that window of time is that what you're not actually doing is being open. So when you're not open, you're not available. And for me, so when I say the question is, what are you available for? I'm asking you in every single step part of that process. I'm not asking about your desires. I'm asking about your desires, your beliefs, your space, your action, your focus and your time and where you're spending it, and how you're trusting in what you're putting out there. Because what most people do is say they want something and then don't do any of the other steps. But how is the universe, if that's what you choose to believe in, or how is your brain, if that's what you choose to believe in, supposed to help you if you're not actually doing the things that highlight what you're available for? Right? So I just really want you to take away from this short, super snippet. What am I available for? Not just what do I want, not just what do I believe, not just what I'm making space for, but what action am I taking and what message is that giving? What message is that sending? And step 5, am I trusting? Am I being open to how it happens? Am I available to be surprised? Because when you actually marry up all those steps, that will truly show you what you're available for. A great way to work out what you've been available for is to look back at the patterns and things across your life. So for example, money, a great way to work out what you're available for money-wise is to go back through every single way that you could have received money over the last 12 months, work out what that is, divide that by 12, then work out what your outgoings were. And most people can do this through bank statements, right? That will tell you what you're a financial match for. And you will probably find, especially if you're self-employed, that the months that maybe you earned less from your business, money came from something surprising. I remember there was a month where business wasn't as good as the previous months. It was the timing of what was happening in the world, and I was fine about it. But I look back and I still earned the same amount of money because my parents gifted me £5,000 through selling of their house or whatever. So the point was, I still earned the same amount of money in that month, received, perhaps is a better word to use. But the point was, that's because that's what I was available for. And we can change what we're available for. And that is exactly what the mini manifestation course is all about. So if you still want to get into that, drop me a DM on Instagram and I will see if I could sneak you in last minute. But what's coming, this is what I'm excited about, is the mini money mindset course. Because I know that the biggest sticking point for people is in the money. And that's going to be coming sometime in September. Stay tuned. But a great thing around the money, and this is where, something I've talked about recently, guys, is that actually one of the most challenging things that people struggle with around money manifestation is they have a capped income, a capped salary, a capped job. They have something where they work a set number of hours and they don't perceive how they could receive more. Now, I know the universe can surprise us in many ways. We could be in someone's will, we could be gifted, we could get a refund, we could get a rebate, we could be credited, we could have been overcharged, right? All of these ways are other ways to receive money. But a lot of us actually have a lot of resistance and a lot of stories about how we can receive money. So one of the best ways that I have been able to overcome my resistance and my negative stories about earning and receiving is actually by having multiple income streams. Because if one trend is down, if one industry is not thriving, there's always the room for that money to come through other things. And this is why I've got behind this incredible free 5-day challenge around selling what you know. And it kicks off tomorrow on the 22nd of August. So if you're not already in that, you've got a couple of days to get in. And we'll be a closed group after that point. The free 5-day challenge, it's 5 days for you to deeply intense work on how to create, cultivate and craft and how to ultimately sell what you know. So make sure to check out the links below to that. But guys, remember, we always get what we're available for. And you are the only person that controls what you are available for. A short episode this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to know. Drop me a message, drop me some feedback. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And I'll see you on the next episode. That was The Way That I See It.